I'm Courtney Burke, and this is...
I'm Chris.
And then we also have our special guest.
I'm their favorite cousin, not a Burke, and my name's Libby Johnson.
So basically every week the three of us are going to sit down and just have casual conversations in the living room about what's going on in the real estate market. So today what we're going to talk about is why right now is actually a good time to buy a home. So what do you guys think? Why do you think right now is a good time?
I love this. So,
Rusty does too.
I know, and we're annoying to our family, to be completely honest, because we talk about real estate pretty much a lot and constantly. New Year's Eve, they hated us. I know, my mom made comments. But I think right now, there's a lot of crazy headlines, right? And a lot of people not knowing what to do or scared or just freeze and like fight, flight or freeze.
Fight
a lot of people are frozen. And I think that there's a lot of misconceptions. So it's our job as realtors and agents is to make sure we're calming people down and telling them what's really happening. So right now, 2025 kicked off and it's better than it has been in a year. Rates are lower. They're in the sixes, which I just got back from a big convention where they were talking about so many clients go, I'm going to wait for the rates to drop.
I hate that.
They will never get down to 3, which all of us refinanced and locked in at, which we highly encourage.
Yes.
But they're not going to get down there.
Well, the problem with waiting, to me, is that you're waiting for rates to drop substantially, and they're not going to drop substantially. They're going to drop a little bit. And while they're dropping, the prices of houses are going up.
Yes.
So if the rates drop a quarter of a point, you're really not saving any money because you just spent an extra $20,000 on a house. So waiting is just not good.
Well,
and the people that waited a couple years ago are now realizing, well, that house was $200 2 years ago, and now it's $260 because over time the market goes up, whether you want it to or not.
Yes, and what's the saying, like, date the rate, marry the house?
Yes.
Because you can refinance. You guys refinance.
Literally refinance.
Like in 6
Yeah.
months.
Yeah, we didn't even make it 6 months. Like
Yes.
it was, as soon as we bought, it dropped a point and we refinanced.
Yep.
And you can roll the closing costs into your refinance. So out of pocket, it was $0. It just changed our payment $400.
And if you work with any of us, like with Keller Williams, we have Keller Mortgage. So I know, like, our uncle used that one, and my mom used a different company because they did. I don't know that she didn't believe it was new, like the zero closing costs thing.
Yeah.
Because they have a 0+ loan, and when we compared notes, it really is 0 loan. So please, if you are looking to refinance at any time, if they do drop miraculously, we can help you there too. But I think that's a big issue right now.
It is. Well, and like, it's just like what you said, when you can refinance if the rates drop, but you can never change the price you pay for a house. So if you're, overpaying for a house, you're stuck with that forever. Whereas right now you can get a good deal on a house. I mean, you can, houses are sitting longer than they were before. And so, you can negotiate good terms. And like we said, if the rates do come down, which is what a lot of people are waiting for, it's like, why are you waiting though?
Yeah.
You can just, like we said, you can just refinance it if they do come down, which they probably will. It's just how much, we have no idea.
And they could go up too. We don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be free again. Those days are over.
Thank God we all locked ours in.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But it is one where, like, 6 on average, if you look at like a 30-year thing, that's pretty normal.
It's
like,
good. That's
it's
good.
It is.
That's
They were
the
paying
thing.
12 to 15 years ago.
Yes.
Like,
So,
and we're complaining about 6. Like, it's
that's
really,
what it cracks me up if you look at like those trends or whatever. It's like we were really spoiled.
Yeah.
I know. But we also have to remember too. We were just talking about this yesterday. Like, we went through a global pandemic. Like, there was a lot of stuff that happened that's not normal.
Yeah.
So you can't tie those interest rates to this is normal when nothing was normal at that time. Like, things are starting to correct.
That exactly. Everything's corrected,
Yeah.
which the other thing is like, if you buy right now, even if the rates were 12, you can refinance, which is what's nice. You always have that security blanket, which is what we did. But it also is one where you're going to buy a house if you're like, well, the prices are high. Sorry, but the prices are always going to go up every year.
They're high.
It's
They're always going to be
historical.
high.
It's the benefit of home ownership.
It is. And in the market, like I just saw this stat where it was like, it's never went down.
No, yeah.
Right.
It's always up. So they say, what is it? You were never buying at the top of the market. You were buying at the top of the moment. So you might buy the
Agreed.
house at the highest price right now, but next year and the year after, it will continue to grow in equity.
Well, and that's the thing that people don't understand is this is an investment. Like, this is a 30-year loan.
Yes.
People stay in their house 5 to 7 years on average. In 7 years, you're going to make money on that money you spent, regardless of what happens. If you don't do a thing to the house, you're going to make money on your money. And where else can you go? You go finance a car. What's your rate on a car? 7? 5? If you really take advantage of it, you can get a 3%, but that's pretty unheard of.
Yeah.
So right now, cars are 50, 60 grand. Like, and what's that worth in 5 years?
That's an excellent
$3,000.
point.
I mean, and we bitch about houses being expensive. Like, Indiana is one of the cheapest places to
Thank
buy
you.
a
I
house.
not selfishly, but I could sell houses in California.
Yeah,
So
right,
A couple,
yeah, I
couple
mean-
houses and you make the same amount as 20 in
Right?
Indiana.
Yeah.
So we're not looking at it like that's. I think a lot of people from Indiana that's grown up here don't look at it on the global scale, but in the United States, we're probably like one of the top 5 places to buy houses because the cost of those houses are cheap. We can buy $200,000 house here. That's going to cost you $1.2 million in California,
Exactly.
Yeah.
and it may catch on fire. So
It could get hit by a tornado.
I was
Oh,
saying,
yeah,
we have
yeah,
other
yeah.
issues here.
it is cold here, so I mean, pick your
That's
poison.
true. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that was like the big thing that I'm talking to a lot of people about. And every time like you're in groups and they hear your realtor, they're like, well, how are rates right now?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
How's the market?
yeah.
I hate
What
that.
do you think?
Well,
And
no,
then
it's
correct
all-
it.
it's
Yeah, no, it's
perspective
always my
is
favorite
the
is when's it gonna crash?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh dear Lord, it's not crashing, guys. It's not
It's
happening.
not.
Get over it.
You know
it's
what's
not
funny
happening.
is when I was in Vegas, Gary Keller, who's the owner and founder of all of Keller Williams, but he said something. He goes, our industry's been in the recession. Like
Yeah.
that's what
True
we've
story.
been going through.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
we experienced it this last year, especially with all the law changes and all that, which is another huge misconception.
Yeah.
The most questions I get asked the rates, like, oh, are they ever gonna go back down?
Yep.
Nope. And then is, well, all those new laws, how's that working? It hasn't changed anything.
It has.
Actually-
it's actually.
No, it's actually made it better for agents. Really, to be
Yeah.
honest, like
It makes our lives way better.
It really does. It really does. Yeah.
I'm so upfront with people, anyways. Let's get that out of the way before we start going through this
Yes.
thing. Like, this is what we're doing. This is, our value. This is what we're going to charge you. And it is what it is.
It
It's
is.
black and white. It's out in front.
Yeah.
I prefer it that way because there's no they see the closing statement and then figure out what you got paid.
Well,
And then they're like,
I hate
what the hell
I
is that?
like
Yeah,
it.
you know.
And I like it because it's like what we said before. I don't go to the doctor and then be like haggle them down on their rates
I'd love to.
You know what I mean? No, that's not how. So it's like this is more kind of in line with other services.
It's
And
exactly that. Is
this.
exactly
Hey,
it.
this is my fee because I do X, Y, and Z for my clients.
That being said, too, is would you go and pick the surgeon because they were the way cheaper option and they're offering you a way
Right.
discount?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Like,
The discount, yeah.
maybe not.
Are you the
Want the
B or C
discount
team,
certificate.
right?
You'd be like,
Yeah.
can I get the next couple down at the
Yeah.
bottom of their
Yeah, I don't
class?
want the best guy. Like, give me the low. Like,
Yeah.
this guy charges $2,000. This guy's 20. I'll take the,
I would say I'd at
$5,000
least go with the middle one.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, that always cracks me because that's why there's so many agents in our industry. and not all are created equal. So it's very important to make sure you are asking your agent, talking to your agent, and that, more importantly, I know all of us are real big on educating the consumer. Because the goal is to not have those red flags, especially when you're in the heat of the moment where we've got to go back and explain something because we didn't explain it.
Yes.
100%.
Yep.
So
And what was the stat that came out the other day? 74% of agents
it was 71 to 74% of agents didn't sell a house.
didn't sell a single house.
Yeah.
So, okay, who are you hiring, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Let's have that
Vet your
conversation
agent.
up front. That's why, if we sit down and I say, look, we're going to charge you this much, it's because we put our time in. We know how to handle problems. You don't even know the problem happened.
that's the
90%
best
of the
part.
time,
Yeah.
you don't even know there was a problem because I took care of it behind the scenes. And that's how, that's my favorite part of the business, really, is I'm a problem solver.
Mhm.
I like to fix stuff before it happens, and I like that foresight. And does every agent provide that?
No,
at the end of
and
the day.
literally, pretty much every single deal has a problem. There are problems that come up in every single deal. So if you feel like you had a very smooth transaction, you had a good agent.
That's what cracks me up because I run the Keller Williams and I work with bringing agents into the industry, things like that is like, and when I did it, it's like, oh, it looks so easy and fun. And I'm like, love that. Now let's get down to it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if it did when you bought your house, I can almost guarantee that agent is in the back
Yeah.
sweating and pacing,
Oh,
pulling their
yeah,
hair out
for
in
sure.
some way, but they fixed it before you knew it was a huge problem.
Yeah. Yep.
100%.
Yep.
But yeah, so
Well, what else? Other reasons? I mean, well,
right now, if you are considering buying or looking at the spring market, like everybody's saying, and the summer, we're at a dip in rates since December. So if you are sensitive to the rates, meaning because if the interest rate goes up, means your buying power goes down because that money is a little more expensive to borrow, so you're not gonna be able to buy as much. So if you are sensitive to that, lock in the rate now, because you can lock in a rate with your lender that buys you a little time. But it's one of those where if you're on the verge or thinking about it or whatever, at least talk with the lender now because you're in a very good window for rates. So
Well, on the locking in rates, what's the standard? Like most lenders I know are 45-day lock.
that's the thing. It's not a long period of time. It's like probably 45 days. It
you
buys you a
pay
couple
a fee
months.
to.
Yeah, and if you pass up that
Yeah.
lock date, they're going to charge you to reset another 45-day
Exactly.
lock. So
Yes.
it's good to lock it in, but just know that rates aren't going to drop.
It's not gonna be
Like,
drastic.
It's not
there's
going to
no
be drastic, and
drastic
that's what I
drop.
was going to say. That's the other good thing about right now compared to back when the rates were lower and starting to rise.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean, because I remember working with clients who had a very low budget and it was like on pins and needles, and they literally would find a house and then it would be like, oh, sorry, the rates went up today,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now you can't afford that house
so
anymore.
many deals fell apart.
I know.
During that time.
It
I
was
felt like-
really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you almost had to go just to be safe, 10 to 20 grand under what you're
Yeah.
approved for, just to be safe in case the rates went up. But that's not happening right now. I've been watching the rates
Yeah.
for months, and they've only
It's
gone up or down a little
very-
tiny bit, very slight.
That's what's funny too, is I feel like everybody felt the normal was oh, it's a hot market, it's a good market.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
It was
It
crazy.
was,
yeah.
you had 30 minutes to go look at the house and you were
Yep.
up against 30 other offers and you better have 20 grand in your pocket cash.
That was the problem,
Over the
right?
price.
People made a lot of
Yep.
mistakes during that time, and it was a hard market. It was hard.
It was hard to do our job and feel good about it.
It was
Oh,
hard.
I
Yes, it sucked.
I know.
It really sucked being an agent. Let's just be honest.
It really did.
To sell somebody a house and be like, no, you're gonna have to bring 50 to the table.
Yeah.
It was
And
like,
no, it's not worth
oh,
that
what's it
amount.
worth? What's it gonna be
Right.
worth tomorrow? We can't ever sell the fucking thing, alright? You gotta
Yeah.
keep it the rest of your life because you paid 50 grand over what it's ever gonna be
And
worth.
that's true. You have to tell people, do you plan to live here at least 10 years?
Yeah, this is a 10-year
I
move.
know.
At least, and maybe you'll get your money
and then
back.
people were waiving inspections, which we never did. We will never do. By the way, we will never let somebody waive an inspection unless it's you're a contractor and you can
Yeah.
fix stuff, or
Not
it's a
even
brand
that.
new house.
Look,
maybe.
I'm a
But-
contractor.
I was saying, Chris
I know how
is
to do the work. and
Yeah.
I had an inspection
That's
on
true.
my
Yeah,
house.
You did, yeah.
So no, you're not never waiving an inspection. You're gonna have a fucking inspection. I don't care
Even
if
if
we
it's
do
just
that.
for informational
Just-
purposes.
Just
Yeah.
to get pictures. I don't care.
Gotta
Like,
have an
yeah,
inspection.
Yes.
yeah. No, we're having an inspection. No matter
People
Yeah,
what.
it's
were
just
waiving
so-
everything and giving their firstborn. during that
Seriously,
time.
it ridiculous.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
And-
this is much better.
And
Yes.
even telling somebody like, look, this is gonna be a mistake. Like there was many clients I was like, no. Like just because everybody else is acting crazy doesn't mean you have to. Like so, and there was a lot of deals that you let slide because what's best for the person buying the house. It was so hard, and I'm a black and white guy. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything for you. I'm gonna tell you the shit.
Yeah, that's
Right?
true.
Never
Good or
mind.
bad, it doesn't matter, and you may hate me for it. I don't care. But I told plenty of clients during that time, "Are you dumb? Like, no, I don't even want to write the offer. Find somebody else. Like,
Do you know there were agents that did that?
No,
Like,
yeah.
I can't do this. and
I
stuff
can't
like
stand behind it because
Yeah.
you call me in 2 years. I'm like, well, you should have luck. It's worth
Yeah,
180
well-
now, and you paid 220. Sorry.
Well, and you're a professional. It like literally goes against everything that
No,
you're
yeah,
supposed
no.
to be doing as a licensed agent, like working.
That's
for
why
it, and you're
now
doing
is so much better because you can actually negotiate because we're the fiduciary for our clients.
right.
We have a responsibility to you. We sign documents and do all these things to do.
It's deeper than that, all right?
It is.
I can't sleep if I fuck somebody.
Yeah.
Period.
It's so true.
I
I
can't do it.
Yeah.
I always tell people like that I was working with them. I was like, listen, I have to be able to look your mother in the eye in like a year from now.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm gonna tell you if it ain't gonna work and if I don't feel good about it.
Yeah. No, for real.
No, it's yeah. I mean, a lot of times it's more for me, like not the client. Like
Chris
I
becomes a dad. during the-
Yeah.
would lose it. I can't let you make a mistake like that. Like it's just
Yeah.
not in my soul. Like I can't do it.
Yeah.
You know, it just no.
Yeah, you're the dad that comes to inspections.
It,
Really.
yeah, I am
Yeah.
really like. And a lot of that stuff, you know, with inspections, that's never really worried me because I know what's wrong with the house before we ever get to that point.
That's true.
But, you know, there's a lot of times where I can overlook something that the inspector's going to catch.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's major, then we have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, the market's so sweet. Like, I just had a deal. All right, the house was listed at like $215, and we got it for like $205. Like, that never happened in the last couple
No,
years.
yeah,
Like,
you
so
got it for, like,
it was magical, yeah.
Good terms, like,
The first one after coming off of that crazy, it's like, did that really happen?
Yeah.
and like everything's going so smoothly. Like
Yeah.
you're able to negotiate things. I mean,
I
that's
showed 10
literally-
houses in one day to the same client. It was magical.
Oh,
like
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. It was. I'm like, are we back? You know, when I started, because that was
Seriously. Oh, that
sweet.
It was
so
literally
nice.
one house like a week maybe would come up.
Yeah.
And it
Well,
was like, we have to go look at it
yeah.
right now, and then there's 30 other people there, and
Yes.
you're like, oh my gosh, you're not even gonna get it.
So right now, the price reductions, I sound like a nerd, but I just looked at all this stuff. Price reductions are up. So people who have listed are now getting realistic.
Yep.
And then
Yeah, man.
inventory is up, which means that we do have more options. We do have more negotiating
Yeah.
power because we didn't.
Yeah.
We had nothing.
Yeah.
A seller could literally just sit there and be like, what do you got?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
And not have to,
Seriously.
like, oh, they want an inspection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a
Out
problem.
of
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Now we're back to be able to work together. and
Which
figure
is
it out.
crazy because those are all they're normal parts of the process. You have an
Yes.
inspection, you have an appraisal. I mean, all of that stuff is normal. And you negotiate throughout like that all of that was not normal.
No,
Not
and it
even the
wasn't fun.
slightest.
Actually, this is the fun part of real estate for me. I love the back and forth and figuring it out together with the other agent and making
Yeah.
sure both people are winning.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's fun. It was not fun. We
No.
just had to sit there and like, please.
Oh, it was fun for the seller.
Oh, it was super fun.
It was
Yeah, yeah.
super sweet.
Sellers-
And super fun
Yeah.
for
But-
Listings,
wait a minute,
listings were
though.
magical. Yeah.
Yes, but no, I have heard horror stories though from people now that actually multiple horror stories from people I know that sold their house and then never bought another one because they couldn't.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
never
for
got
real,
one.
yeah.
So now they don't even own a home anymore. So what was the point?
So that's the thing is these people
Like-
sold because they were gonna make so much money. I
Yes.
was like, okay, no, go find another one.
We'll wait for the
Exactly.
market
That
to
was
crash.
right.
That was always the thing. Well, those people that sold and made their money, the market hasn't crashed. It's up here now.
And values are higher.
Yes, and
Because
they're
that's
going to
what
continue to
happens
get
all the
higher.
time. I see like memes all the time on Facebook and stuff that are like house prices, 5 years ago, 190, and then now it's like 400, and people are all sad faced and stuff. And I'm like, well, it's gonna get 5 years from now, it's gonna happen again where they're more expensive. So buy a house now.
That's
so
the
that you
other
don't have
thing
to be
is,
sad faced
instead of just being a consumer, which you may know a lot, you may have sold 10 houses, but we're in it day to day, and actually looking at the stats and behind this thing, home values have never dropped year over year. That's always so. Talk to us. Talk to an agent.
Yes.
Don't just
Yes.
listen to what Grandpa said because he bought back in 1965.
No,
Like,
That's the worst.
That
I
is-
know, and that's so much of what happens.
I know.
Well, that's a lot of the when you're showing houses and the whole family comes, those fun
Yeah.
times.
I did that.
Yeah, everybody does it. It's cool. Like,
What, your whole family came with
Yeah,
you?
Uncle Timmy was
yeah, everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, Timmy came to every. He was the inspector. But when everybody comes, you have to re-educate parents and
Yes.
grandparents and
Yes.
uncles and aunts
Yeah.
and everybody that comes because they bought a house 20 years ago or 10 years ago. Especially that generation, they bought houses and stayed for 15 to 20 years. Now they buy houses and move every 2 to 3 years. Like that's how
Yes.
people are doing. But you have to re-educate. Like, yes, you bought your house for $100, but eggs were also 79 cents. And they're
And your $100,000 house is worth a
Yeah.
lot more
Oh,
now.
let's talk about Bridget Burke, my mother. When you helped
Sorry,
Taylor,
Bridget.
yeah, sorry.
Oh, she's
Sorry.
that lady. She's the lady.
She is the lady. And when you helped Taylor buy his house, I don't know how many years ago, 7, 8 years
been a
ago,
while.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's been a while now.
When you helped him, she had bought her house for like a cool 70,000.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I could sell it right now
Yeah.
for like 2 something.
Yeah, too. Yeah.
But she bought when interest rates were lower
Mhm.
back then, but home values were dirt cheap. Okay? So she bought, and then within those next few years or whatever, when Taylor bought his house, it was all up.
Yeah.
So it blew her
Oh, yeah.
mind.
She couldn't
Yeah.
deal with it. So what we did, because I like to do this with families, you go look at complete garbage for like 180. And she's like, well, this isn't even livable. I'm like, yeah, I know, it's 180. That's what you get. Like,
Yeah.
It blew
Yeah,
her
you
mind.
have to.
And every night after you did it, she'd call me and I'm like,
yeah.
it's not like it was,
It's not
Mom.
the same. Well, and she bought her house the same time around when we bought our old house.
Yes.
And that was like the end of
The very end.
the bad times
Yes.
in real estate.
The
Yeah, that was
very
the
end.
original crash.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
real estate actually crashed.
Yeah. I think it was,
But that was not the same situation that we're in now. It was totally different.
No, yeah. No.
Totally different.
Complete different factors
Yes.
went into that crash.
Yeah,
that
and
was-
we can talk about that someday.
Yeah, we will
Not
put that
today,
on the
but we'll
list
talk
of things
about
to
it one
talk
day.
about.
Yeah, and if you watch this and you have questions, like shoot a DM.
We would love
We
that.
would love to have
We would love to have topics sent to us so that we have.
Because we will sit without a topic and just go
Yeah,
down
as you
whatever.
can tell, we
Yeah.
just talk all day
We
about
do
real
this at
estate.
family
It's just
get-together.
how-
Yeah,
it's
what
how
was the
we are.
topic even about? I don't even remember.
Yeah, I don't even know what we
Just
started on.
kidding.
Yeah, so
But yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much sums up.
I think so too.
But yeah, I think that it's just, people shouldn't be afraid. Don't be afraid if you want to move. We are never. First of all, we're not capable. Nobody's capable of making anybody move.
No.
Right? So nobody's trying to talk you into moving. Nobody's trying to make you do anything that you don't want to do.
no, she's lying. I'm talking you into
Oh,
moving.
okay. Except for
If you're renting
Yeah.
or something,
well, yeah,
you need to buy a freaking house.
should-
Quit
yes.
waiting.
Oh, renting
it's
is
so hard.
painful
It's
right
hard
now.
to find rentals. I've had a few people
Yes.
come to me, and I'm just like, I feel so bad. It's so expensive,
And you're
it's-
paying well over your mortgage and my mortgage.
I know,
and
I know.
everything.
Oh, and regardless of the rates, you're paying somebody else's mortgage. Let's
yeah,
just
and
call it
And
what
if
it
you
is.
have like 75 dogs, like people don't want you.
Yeah.
That they deliver Amazon packages too.
Yeah. Inside joke.
Weird.
All right. Shut it down.
All right. So, anyways, yeah. So we're gonna do this every week. So if you have anything that you want us to talk about, shoot us, any one of us, a message and tell us a topic, and we would love to chat about it next week.
Yeah, and if you are in the market or wondering if you should be or anything like that, obviously we're not scary people. Nope. Reach out.
Yep.
We'll
We're not. Maybe
we'll send you
maybe-
Chris and he'll tell you straight up.
Yeah, if you want the
exactly.
truth, just give me a call.
Maybe
Courtney
Bryce
and I'll
stays
sugarcoat
here.
a little bit just to make you happy, but then we'll
Yeah.
send Chris in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
Good
thanks
talk.
guys.
Bye.
See ya.